So if we go to MySQL on and here, if you go any tables, so if you want to read some data from this table, right? This is a table. It has rows and columns. How can you read data from here? So let's inspect elements. See if we can do that, and we'll create a module for that. So this table look like this, right? This is one cell, another cell, so on. Let's table view. To get the entire table, this is the entire table, right? Table plus W3 table dash all and no translate. So this is the table. We can see from HTML view the table is highlighting here, right? Under div W2 responsive, there's a table. If you expand the table, there's a T body, which is table body, and it has few rows. And if you break down the rows, there's a few columns. Right? Can you see that? What if it's going to grow? If there will be some table that is dynamically grow, it means it could be not fixed length of fixed rows or column. It can grow. In that case, of course, your locators will change too, right? How can you deal with these dynamic tables? So we can use CSS for it. So first, we can think of the tables, which is this. So we can get the class name, and then find the table body, and we can grab how many rows, how many columns, and so on. All right, so we can create a module called W3 Schools, right? Let's go new module. It's a Maven module. So W3 School. Com.W3 Schools. Well, let's do that. W3 Schools, yes. And go next. So module name. W3 Schools. Finish. Yes. So on this, we can, on the Maven of this, we need to add the dependencies, which is right. It's going to be generic, right? So if you add generic, that means we can use the resources of generic API. That's the goal. All right, let's build this. Since we are adding a new module, it's good to build. So you can see the W3 School is also building, right? Part of it. Yeah, we should name. Okay. Should have named that. Let me see if we can change the name a little bit. We have that. We have new bit. And where we will change. artifact ID, let's change to double score. Okay, it's better. So we just inconsistent. Build this again. So that looks much better now. We want to see WT school, CNN, Amazon, generic, and automation there. Automation you could also change if you want. Okay, that's one change. Question?
So I think you need to change the artifact ID and it should work.
Yes, right? Okay. Yeah, there is artifact ID issue there. So just want to be inconsistent with the naming, which is we want to caps the name. Thank you. Automation, yes. It's there. Thanks. Okay, now our module is ready to write some test cases. All right, let's create a class. What do you want to test? We're going to test some database tables, right? We can call this table data, right? This can extend. We don't call base here, but common API. Okay, now should we? All right, let's do that for now. No JUnit. Scrap table. Why is that coming? Just web element right here. Okay. All the method. Up. Get list of web elements by CSS. So we're going to scrap it by CSS. For now, let's put a value here, then we'll think about it. So let's get a table data. So we have W2 table all no translate. Copy that. So is the class name should be dot, right? If there's a second class name, that should be dot with no space. So we get that. And you have T body, which is table body, and then T body, and then which row do you want to read? Maybe this, right? So, which is one. This is also part of. This is also on one row. Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth row you want to read. So how many rows we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you want to read fifth row. If you highlight this on fifth row, you can see that it's highlighting there. Third row, so on, right? It's moving up. So fifth row is this. So let's expand the fifth row. So under T body, we are getting the TR, fifth TR, right? Fifth TR. TR. So TR of child fifth, right? Okay. Let's get.
What is NH? From the CSS?
Huh?
So after TR you put dot, TR dot NH.
Okay, this is TR. So under T body, we're reading the fifth TR. That's why you say, child of fifth. Under T body, which child? Child 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. That's why you have to write nth child of fifth TR. Let's open this one, w3school.com. CSS selector actually should go by. And we say CSS selector. So CSS selector, if you want to read, just give you some idea. Nth child selects every p element that is second child of its parent. The number varies, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, so on. So it selects every element that is on not p elements. That's for not, but we're going to use that actually. Element that is the second child of the parent, but we are reading the fifth child of the parents. So this is the parent we're going to write. So we are reading the PR, which is the TR, right? Rows, table rows. TR stands for table rows. You're reading that TR colon nth child of fifth. So these selectors are helpful if you can read, give you some idea about CSS selector more. Let's go by single one first, then we're going to go the entry table. Get text by CSS. All right, let's run it. Oh, we need to have a resource directory, and we should have a file. We can copy over. Chrome false. Okay. So it's going to change, right? The URL is going to be changed too. And we're not going to go home page directly come here. It's saying that. So this will be this. Oh, you shouldn't say Mac there. You should say Windows. It's going to fail. Win, right? Oh, so. Oh, okay, okay, it should be there. Never mind, I put it wrong place. Yes, I can see that. Oh, something may go wrong. I didn't put it here, close there. Yes. Column, right. There you go. So cell value is this, right? Around Horn, Thomas, Hardley, 120 Hanover Street. It's red enter text. Right? Around the Horn, Thomas, Hardy, 120 Hanover Square, London, IDP, UK. Right? This is the fifth row. Customer ID for customer name, around the Horn, contact name Thomas Hardy, 120 Hanover Square, the address, city London, postal code, country UK. So we see that we're able to read that. specific cell value if that cell CSS is given. Right? You see that? So you might deal with tables in future. If you know how to handle it, it would be nice. You can, you should learn. Like CSS is better to approach for a table like this. Any question? Yes? Sachin? Okay.
If I have to read the whole table,
Yeah. Into that. Slide. Right? We get an entry table, right? First row, customer ID, customer name, the first customer data, second, third, fourth, fifth. I don't know why you have space here. What went wrong here? Oh, wow, it's reading a lot of data. So even it's reading that operator descriptive, where it's coming from. It came from that too. We'll limit that. Okay. All right, so the question came, which is this last class? No, apparently it's not. I thought this will be. So we have another week, this is next week, and then we have bootcamp. but we should submit our work today. We can add more new features next week, but we're going to see how you do your framework. You give me feedback, then work on for the week. Work on both mode automation framework. So you have more time to work with mode automation, right? So if you're going to do another week, which is today, you should check in all the frameworks you have. We're going to go over that, and then try to, if you don't have Mac, try to work with partners, or just buy Mac. You can buy it for $800 one. Otherwise, if you like to deal with Windows with just Android, do that. Any questions, guys? So we know how to deal with tables using CSS. You can apply any modules you face tables.
Unmuted.
All go ahead. Huh? Yep, I can hear you. The purpose of framework, you said? We're talking about this. Are you for this? Okay. So dependency is it's a Maven tags, right? And it's HTML tags for Maven, right? So now, when you build applications or jar files or API, then they store into central repository. And to fetch from central repository into local, you have to give that dependency proper tags. So this group ID is more about the organization's name and with the application name. And artifact ID is more specific API name. And the versions is more the version change, right? Every time new features come, so they release new versions. So you must maintain the versions. Otherwise, we don't know. We cannot have just one versions. So if anything goes wrong, you can go back to the previous versions, and we know what this previous version is. And to be compatible with different version name, we have to keep versioning system. But this modules. Okay, this one is by us, right? This is our framework. The dependencies, this is the third party dependencies. But this is more maintaining our framework. So our framework should have name, which is renamed group ID, the artifact ID. I rename it today. I don't know, to look nicer, but you could maintain the older one, com.automation. So this framework is all about automation. That's why we name automation. And we're saying do packaging, do make POM, and versions. We just need one version, snapshot 1.0. We could maintain the versioning also here, but we're just doing one version here. because this is not, no one else is using beside our automation, our team. So we are not paying attention much or thinking about having different versions of framework. But you could do that if you want to. So yes, you need the group ID, and artifact ID, because Maven project, any Maven module or any Maven project, it should have these three formats: group ID name, artifact ID name, and versions. So this is for our own, when you build the modules, we have to name it. And this module name, the naming is this. It's to recognize, hey, give me the automation group ID, give me the com.automation artifact ID, which is snapshot once. Group ID for, so this is the root project. Under that we have few other modules. So now, so this module, whenever you are using root and generic is using this parent, this is the parent module is saying, and this is the current module, it's generic. But generic has a parent that is the parent, which is automation. You could CNN. It's also here. For CNN module, this is the parent. So automation is the parent module for all other sub-modules. This is the sub-modules, right? Amazon, CNN, generic, DoubleTree schools. But this is the root projects, and this is the parent module for these sub-modules. So you have to use the parent tag enclosed. Hey, what is the parent for this CNN? Okay, so when you create the Maven project, it gives you options here: use the template or existing template, or create your own template. And all the Maven project, you should have at least this three tags, which is artifact ID, so group ID, artifact ID, and versions. So the name is given when you try to create one. Is that your questions, or I was not clear? Okay.
Next question, it's regarding web automation. So one problem I encountered was, the driver, if it's not static, in other classes it's null. Only the superclass it has a value. So when it's inherited by other classes, it gives you a value of null. So you can change it to static, but what if you're running parallel tests? You have to change the value of the driver to other browsers.
So if this is static, in the base class,
Yeah.
if it is static, in the other modules, in the subclass, it's null.
If this is not static, then yes.
If it's not static, then it's null.
No. So is there a way to overcome that? Because I didn't really find a way out of it without changing it to static.
But if you make it static, is that an issue?
What if you're running parallel tests?
Then it's a problem.
It's a problem because you have to change the value of the driver to another browser, right? So once you're running a parallel test,
So it no longer belongs to object, but
you can't change the value since it's static, right? At least during execution. So what if you're trying to open another browser? It won't let you change the value of the variable.
Gotcha. So it's safe to have non-static?
Yeah,
One way,
but
but
then when you use non-static in the inherited classes, the driver is null. So if you're using a statement driver find w5, it's going to give you null pointer at that line because the driver at that point is null.
no, it shouldn't give null unless there's. So let's say we have generic is non-static, And if you go W3 school, so at this moment, this is not null though.
Yeah, at this moment it's not. So for instance, in your, let's say now in your test when you main Java, you create a package, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you're grabbing a bunch of elements from a website. So when you're trying to do that, it gives you a null error, null pointer exception. In that, even if you're extending the superclass, even if you have a superclass, so your super is going to be your common API, right?
Yeah, that's.
So technically, it's supposed to use the same driver that the super is using, but it doesn't. It gives you a null.
Oh. Oh, sorry. Uh, well, let's do this with this. Right. So if you do this, this is not null at this moment. Driver. If you say driver, do you have the driver here? All right, let's.
How about you put inside the in the main class?
So these drivers come from base. So let's see.
Yeah, but, from what I see, this is actually grabbing all the elements.
This- So this is not null actually. This is the driver is passing from base with all this. So using Chrome, and so this is the instance is passed by here. Driver 2 become driver now. And what is the driver? It's coming from the base actually. It's a Chrome driver, right? Running on X3. Yeah, so it's not null here. So somehow, so this class, table data extended from W3 school method, and WTSQL method extended from common API. So this one doesn't give you null though. So unless something went wrong, or we can take a look at it. Atman, which machine should I unmute you? You have two machines? Atman?
Yes, Mafi Bhai. Yeah, I was just wanted to check when Paul was mentioning about the artifact name and the group ID name. Do it have to be a specific name, or we could name it anything over there? Because I see in different POM classes, POM.xml, different name.
So for different modules have different name, but the parent name should be same.
So let's see the parent. Okay, let's see the parent one more time. So the parent is the automation, right? And it don't have to be the same name as the other project, like as the other module, POM.xml. It doesn't have to be.
So this WTSQL module has a parent automation, artifact ID, group ID, computer automation, snapshot 1. This is the parent, and it should be across all the submodules.
Okay, but if you look, the POM XML, the root one is not. The group ID doesn't have com.automation.
I think I renamed it. That's why it happened.
Okay, I know. So the name and convention here, it doesn't matter. Like if we have provided the com or is not com, right? That's what I was thinking. That's what he was thinking, because he was like he's seeing different names across the old POM XML. So that's why we.
No, sure.
Yeah.
It actually looks not being inconsistent with the other module. That's what probably make you confused.
Yeah, because it was like, oh, this is a different thing. It was like a different project. Where it's coming from? But now it's clear. So
No,
it really doesn't matter, because when it was without the com, that automation, it looked like it works fine.
no. Well, it's. I think I renamed it in the morning.
Okay then. All right, thanks.
But parent, which is parent of submodule, group ID, artifact ID should be the same for across the projects.
Okay.
And for generic, WT schools, anyone.
All right, sure.
But
Thanks.
for each module, you should have, like this is CNN module form, CNN, right? They should have artifact ID CNN. Shouldn't be something else, right? It should match with the module name. We try to be consistent with them.
Yeah, that's fine, because we was concerned about that parent one. It was like different name and different POM XML, but now it's clear.
This is the parent module, but remember, when you inherit dependencies in like CNN or Amazon, this is the dependency you should call. Group ID, computer automation, artifact ID, generic, versions is this. We are getting generic module, but generic is under com.automation. So this is the parent. You need to say that. So group ID is pretty much the parent module. Because under automation, you could have multiple other artifact ID.
I have another question, Mafi Bhai. In line 16, we already have the group ID.com.automation. So what's the reason for us to reinitialize the parent and between the line number 5 to like repeat it again in line number top? Yeah, like line number 7. We have the same thing.
So here's the thing.
If we have to mention the group ID, which is com.automation.
It's a good point. So there's two separate things. Guys, important one. Let's take a look. So we mentioned here parent module, but also we are mentioning here the dependency. What's the difference, or what you have to outline in 3 places? So this CNN or Amazon is under test automation, which is under automation umbrella, right? Now, you may not use your generic dependencies, but still you are under this parent, you are under this umbrella, this CNN module. But since we are going to use generic modules API, so we have to include in the dependencies. That by adding in the parent doesn't give you the access to dependencies unless I say dependencies that my CNN module depend on generic. If you don't say this, even though if you're under parent, you won't be able to access it. So this gives you the link of, hey, you are under the root automation module. So this is the sub-module here. But this gives you the access to the API, the generic. So when you say, okay, my dependency is generic, but what is the generic is under? Generic is under automation.
If we comment like line 6 and 7, would it work like, or we comment this, would it work like, would not, right?
We'll have a problem because this will not going to be, see that right here, who doesn't know the parent. Okay, let's come into the enter parent.
Yes, then time. Yes.
It's making link that CNN is under a root POM. So it's to maintain the structure, and let's run it here. So group ID is missing, line. Where is it coming from? CNN POM. So we're trying to see the error messages. So parent,
okay. But that parent is only mentioning in the POM.xml, which is the base POM, is not mentioning on the other ones, because we commented on one. I'm not sure if it still exists on another POM.xml.
So if you go to root POM, that CNN, if you want to remove the module of CNN, you could do this here. So this CNN will not going to be under root automation anymore. It's still there. It's because we have the previous error. But if you want to remove the module, you should remove from here and the right click and delete that. But yes, to maintain the hierarchy, to know, okay, this is our root POM, this is our root project, root module, you could say. Under root module, we have sub-modules, CNN, generic, Amazon. And those modules should recognize by parent. That's why they use the parent tag to recognize, yes, all this module is under, these are the modules under this automation branch, or under this automation module, right? These are the modules that we have.
Sure.
So if you don't say that in any of the modules, and it's a problem, you cannot build that. Building that entire projects is kind of required to outline who's your parents here. For CNN, who's your parents? So now that give you, because you're also using the dependencies here. So if you remove these dependencies, and if you remove the parent, what else left? So it's still missing. Group ID is missing line 109. 109. Where? In
So that would be like a
Oh, it's line 4. Right. Line 4. It's line 4 of which module? We're going to use line 4, column 109 form. What's missing line 4? Some columns, columns. So automation.com, instead of automation, please verify your project structure. So yeah, now you won't be able to build. If you either you have to remove this CNN module if you are not maintaining that parent tags. Dependency is up to you, but so you have to build that. Without dependency, you can build your project, but this is the must declaration. It says parent must be there in order to be part of the root automation. If CNN wants to be part of this root automation, you have to outline the parent. Now, dependency is your choice. If you need to use the API, then use as a dependency. Otherwise, don't. But build the project, build a snapshot form. You have to outline the parent.
Yes, sure. Yeah, that's my feedback. Thanks.
Well. I was not clear. What are you referring to? Which line? Oh, okay. So, framework November 2016 is the repository name in GitHub. This is the project name actually. Test automation is the project name, but this test automation was hosted or residing under framework November 2016 on GitHub, which is this. So this is our repository. Under repository, we have the project name called test automation. Okay. So right here, test automation.iml, IML from IntelliJ. So this tells you that project name. This doesn't tell you project name. This is the repository name. The repository name, the project name could be same, but usually doesn't happen. They usually do different repository name. Could be any other repository name, but project name could be different. Our project name is test automation. We pushed our code to this repository framework November 2016. Once you cloned it, it kind of give you the repository name, and under that the project name. This is not related to artifact ID now. You could name it same, that's fine, but I gave it separate name. But you can if you want to, yes. It's about when you name it, it's a file, new project. Right, next is memory project. This is the place where you define what you want to name your project. Right, new project.
Yeah, but like Mafibai, like I think what Paul mean, like because he's thinking like when we get the project name as test automation and we have the artifact ID as guest automation without the test, right, Paul? So he's kind of thinking like where we can find automation on the left-hand tree or left-hand menu as a project name. Right, right, Paul?
Okay, right here, see that when you create a project first from scratch, we're saying group ID ABC. It's ABC company or alphabet company. Com.abc is artifact ID, which is a specific application. Next, now com.abc, guys, if you're talking, and it's hard to consider here. Now, project name is populated from the previous artifact ID and group ID. Now it's your choice. You can leave that, or you say no, I want to say something else. Just ABC. Then you can create a project. Finish. So you will see that test ABC is created. So yeah. So test ABC is created, right? So now if you push this to GitHub under framework ABC, then you clone it to other machine, and you'll see that framework ABC dash test automation test ABC. This is how that happens. This is how naming actually came. So now you have a choice. I show you that once it's populated by group ID and artifact ID, now is your choice if you want to name it same or different. And once you push to GitHub repository, it picks up the repository name. Yeah, so in real world, or if you, this is Amazon project. If it's Amazon project, you could say test automation or Amazon automation. Under that, you won't have CNN or others, right? You only have Amazon. So not only one module, you could say this is Amazon automation. The module could be Amazon e-commerce, Amazon search, Amazon maybe marketing, right? Or could be Amazon Alexa, so on. All the Amazon projects could be as a sub-modules. Right? Right now we are trying to do different applications, but when you work for Amazon, it's going to be Amazon Automation, the project name, but under that module, you could have multiple modules, like Amazon. If you go to Amazon, you have different. You can see just one side, but they could have a lot of internal projects or some other projects that is populating data or supplying the main website, right? So that could be part of another module. So maybe Amazon could have if it's a microservices, you can do just Amazon e-commerce or Amazon AWS. They have another one, right? Which is AWS cloud service. Right? This is also owned by Amazon. Amazon Web Services, right? So, and they have more other projects. So under Amazon, you can have web services project, e-commerce project, artificial intelligence project, so on. That could be under root automation, right? Amazon automation. Under that, you have all those Amazon modules. So you don't expect you should have CNN or WT schools there because it's a different organizations. Under one organization, you could have multiple sub-modules, which is sub-projects. This is how you should think about when you build the framework from scratch for naming conventions and the setup for modules. This gives you an idea about we are dealing with different domain of applications. That's why you have different domain of modules. But in real world, if you just work for one organization, like Google, right? Google have multiple projects. So you could say Google Automation, and you have multiple projects. Google Map, Gmail, Google Search, Moonshot projects, so on. Okay? Any questions? Any other questions? Yeah?
Oh, so I kind of figured out what it was giving me a no. Do you think I can share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so here, this is just grabbing a bunch of web elements, right, into this list over here. So the issue seems to be that in the test class, if I call the method just a method, without actually using this object over here, then it works. But if I actually call the object initializes the driver to null. So for instance, if I run this, why did it lost the driver? Let me reload this. So it's just grabbing the top navigation bar, navigating to the map data, and you see it's outputting all. So I'm just after this, and it prints out the value. Also prints out the Chrome driver is fine at this point over here. But if I commit this out and I use the object to call the method, right? So if I use this. Oh, let me try. Well, that's a weird thing. Yeah, you see it's using a null pointer.
Which line do you will now? 22?
Yeah, it's saying, so I have to check here. So it says driver is equal to null. So if I go to this right here, at this point I have a check, you know, so I'm going to print the driver's value over here, and it says null.
I see. Go back to the test class. So if you do this way, you get null.
No, yeah, so apparently when you,
No.
I mean, that's what they're saying. It's like when you initialize it and you know, if you're creating an object here, it initializes the value to default. So by default, it's going to be null. But I don't know.
Now, one second. So you eBay homepage elements.
Yeah. Should I put that?
You're extending eBay homepage elements. Can you go?
Yeah, and eBay homepage elements is extending, well, let's see, what's it? It's extending common methods, right? And common methods is extending general purpose methods.
And then?
That's it. I mean, general purpose is the common API.
But do you have the driver here?
In general purpose, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. So from general purpose, you are saying to eBay, right?
To common methods in eBay. And
Okay.
then from common methods, I'm extending.
What is this common method doing?
It's just creating, it's just logging me in today.
Let's log you in. Okay. And then, what is the subclass of this?
Okay, so the subclass of this is eBay homepage elements, right? So maybe do I have to create an instance of the common methods for it to work?
No, it depends. So this eBay homepage is the one What is this class doing?
Oh, it's just grabbing a bunch of web elements into a list.
Okay, and then,
And then it's clicking on the first element, I mean the second element inside the list.
okay. And where is showing the null? Is this
It's showing the null pointer right here.
on line 28?
28. Right, so right before it's going to try to grab the elements, right?
So, of course, 29 will fail too, right? It's because now
I'm sorry?
29 will fail.
Yeah, 29 will fail because that's where it's giving the null pointer exception. Right here.
And if you go back to the test class,
Right, let's go back to this class. It's so when I use the object to call the method, it gives me a null. But if I don't use the object to actually call it, like if I just call it by itself, since I'm extending that class, right?
Uh-huh.
I have access to all the methods. So it works fine.
so print all homepage is coming from which class?
It's coming from
eBay homepage?
Yeah, the eBay homepage elements, right?
Okay, fine. So it's kind of become, I think, it's kind of redundant happening. See, you're extending at the same time you were initializing the page. Why do you have to initialize the page?
So if I don't extend, because don't you need to actually create the web elements to initialize?
No, so you're already extending. If you extend, do one, either extend
Okay.
or,
So if I don't extend it, it should still work, right? If I don't extend, because I was not extending it before.
if you don't, okay, what do you have eBay? It's a page object model on eBay
The
homepage?
homepage elements, no, it's not actually a page
So why are you doing that on line 16?
But I had another one that was a page object model.
Which class
Okay,
is
so
that?
let's get rid of this.
Either do one, right?
So let's get rid of this and obviously this, and let's not extend homepage. So
It should work.
It should work.
Yes.
Okay. So but I'll have to create an instance of that then.
Why you can extend? Still extend.
But it should still work if I don't extend, right?
No. Then how are you getting your base? How are you
Let's
getting that?
say if I extend general purpose here,
Then it will work.
it
Yes.
should work, right?
Yeah.
Let's try that.
But if you do general purpose, then how are you going to get print all the homepage elements? Then you have to extend.
But
Instantiate
then I
that.
can create an instance, right?
Yes, you can do that then.
But it should work.
Yes, both ways should work.
Okay, let's see. Wait, is it gonna work? I don't know. It's supposed to. So I don't need to create a whole so initializing elements. So if you have a web element list,
We only initialize elements page of if you have page factory.
so
Otherwise, you don't have
you
to.
don't have to.
No,
No, even if you're actually trying to grab elements from the list.
doesn't matter. You can instantiate that. All page factory is the page factory dot init elements. Only going to use when you have a class you derive from a page and you have those find elements, all this
So
page
if
factory.
you're creating elements.
You do only on your page factory. Otherwise, don't do that. You don't need.
Yeah,
to do that.
not
So if you don't have to do that, other options is either create an instance or extend the class. Yes, that's it.
Let's try this. Yeah, it should work. So it didn't work.
Why? Which line? No.
Join was null.
Okay, go to the line number.
Because I remember
Go to line number 24.
that there. I'm number 24. That's in the test file. So this is it's saying it failed in the method. So that's the method right here.
Okay, so line 29. It fails here. So where is the driver coming from?
It's the same driver from well, it's coming from common methods, which is extending. So do you want me to extend only general purpose here, like the common API here?
So this class, can you just take the console down?
Okay.
You can see the code.
The console?
Console, can you make it smaller?
Okay.
So now this method, eBay homepage, is extending. This is your test class, no?
No, this is like this is
Oh, this is not.
this is a regular class.
All right. So it's spelling here, though, right?
It's spelling here.
But this is extending the common method eBay,
And common method is extending general purpose method, which has the driver.
which has the driver. And okay, so now one second.
Oh, by the way, I was using the page factory because if I use this method, it works fine. But
Oh, let's do one. You don't have to do two.
no, I have that method out. So
All right. So now it's failing here, which is line 29. Driver.find elements by expert. But we could do one thing here, right? Instead of calling driver.find elements, you could simply call, for common method API, eBay, common methods or common API, you have get web elements, right? You could simply call that.
I could do that. Yeah, I actually did that too. It works fine because it's going to utilize the driver.
That's the purpose to declare everything in the common API. So you don't have to call driver.find elements all the time, right? Okay, this is
It still beats the point. Like you're supposed to inherit that driver variable, right?
yeah, you have to inherit that.
So, but it's still, why is it giving me a null? That's my question. I mean, I found a way to deal with this, but
Okay, so now we're going to go back one step. So we're going to go to common method API, eBay. This is common method eBay. What you are doing here is just logging.
we're just logging in here. Yeah.
Okay. If you are logging in here, but this is using the page factory.
Yeah, this is using the page.
So did you initialize this page
But I'm
factory?
not even calling this method. I mean, I'm not even using anything from here.
You're not using anything.
Yeah, I was using this in another test method. So
But
I'm
yeah,
not using anything from
But how do you
this.
log in though? Are you logging in?
No, I'm not logging in. And this is not even the login for the Apple. This is login for eBay. But I'm doing it.
Come on.
But no, this was, so I just changed the website just to make sure I'm grabbing the right, because even all the
Yeah.
XPath is dynamic, so even sometimes when you use the absolute XPath, it doesn't work
All right.
properly.
All right. Let's go back to the test class, please. All right. So we are doing instantiating that and extending. So if you want to simply say, you should extend EVA homepage elements.
Extend.
Let's extend EVA homepage.
Okay,
Now don't instantiate that, simply use the method.
so that's it. You are not.
Okay, let's run it.
No, but this works. This works.
Okay, so this is we should do. And the other way you're trying to do is, if you extend simply base, but you create instance, and that's given alpha the exception.
Yeah, so, yeah. That's what I'm doing. No, it's not like I have an issue with it, but that's my issue with the null. Like, why is it giving me a null when we're inheriting it? Like, so yeah, so well, at least I asked this question online and somebody sent me this like link. They're telling me that whenever you instantiate something, it sets all the variables to null.
When you set some,
How many did? No, the driver was null. Yeah, the driver was null. In the inherited class, in the subclass.
we can go back to the code. So it was throwing errors because you're extending the common method, but at the same time you're creating an instance of eBay, right?
But if let's say if I don't extend this, I should still be able to instantiate it and then use it, right?
Yes.
But it's not working that way. That's
Okay, maybe not this class. If you have other class, you can do that. I mean, if you have any other class that are like login, could be in separate class, so you can call that class to log in,
right.
and if you instantiate the
Yeah,
class.
but you know why that works? It's because I'm creating web elements for everything over there. So when I create a page factory, for some reason it gives me no errors during that. So it already creates all the web elements and then it just uses the driver from the super class. So it's not utilizing the driver in that class. It's utilizing all the methods from your common API. So if I go back here, so you see how this is creating, web elements, and then it's not actually using anything from, specific.
If you're not using, you don't have to do initialize.
Right. But over here, if I use the login, I have to initialize because I'm creating a bunch of web elements, right?
Yeah, if you're going to call this user login, and this login is using all these web elements.
But over here, the only thing I'm utilizing for my general purpose is the driver itself, nothing else, because everything I'm creating in this class by itself. So over here, I mean, kind of beats the purpose of having common API, because I have to create the elements, so I'm not using any of the methods, split by x, that, type by x, that.
But also you can do another thing, that is, this class don't have to extend it.
Right.
This class.
But I need to grab the driver, so it has to.
No, don't grab the driver here, but grab the driver in the test class.
Oh, in the test class?
So you pass that, when you trace factory elements, you pass the driver, so that your driver is. So these don't have to initialize, these don't have to extend the base.
Okay. So would that make a difference?
Well, I'm giving you like options. Like if you don't want to do that, just use this route. Okay. So the other route is fairly, I guess it's more. First, you're extending one class from class A to B, then B to C, and at the same time you're saying, okay, create an instance of B and B dot some methods.
Well, yeah, in this case, create an instance of C and then C dot method.
So from from A to B, B to C, and in the D you're saying create an instance of C and use the method of C.
Right.
But in the D you're saying extend A.
Right, but even if I'm extending, but it's only working if I'm extending B. So what's all the inheritance? Like it's supposed to inherit. That's why it's my problem. Like, it beats the point of inheritance, and I can just extend like one or two classes. Like
Let's see. A second.
it's okay. We're just it's okay. It's fine. This is very good.
Why are you making life complicated?
So
you see the workplace
so-
issues such as that.
it will be C. So D is your test class, isn't it? Right? Furkan?
Yeah,
D is your test class.
that's my test class.
This is your common API.
That's my copy.
All right. So now in D you're saying also that create instance of C, right? Did you say that or B?
I'm sorry? Create instance of C, yeah, that's what we're doing.
On D.
On D.
And you're saying D should also extend extends A, right?
D extends A, right?
This is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're doing.
So you didn't say D extends C. You didn't say that, right?
Well, C was extending B.
No, I know, but over here when you say D extend A,
Okay.
but you didn't say C extend D, so I don't have to do that here, right?
Yeah.
This is what you omitted, right? So, and it showed null pointer where, on B or C?
On C.
It showed null pointer in C, all of the methods in C.
Right.
So what is this B doing here?
B is just like a gateway tool. So if I'm not utilizing this, I can get rid of it. I can just extend A to C.
Okay,
But
so
it still doesn't. I mean, I can still extend from A to C. So there's no B in between. But it's still getting an error.
alright, so B is not a troublemaker here.
Yeah. So B is not even in the picture.
So C is the trouble, giving you some issue.
C is the issue.
C. So if you do, if you don't create an instance of C, directly extend D, extend D from C, no issues at all. It's fine.
If I extend D from C, no issue at all. But let's say if I don't want to, if I just say, hey, I'm just extending nothing at all to D. But no, but you have to because you need to use the driver, right? But if you create an instance of C with C is actually extending A, shouldn't that also utilize all the drivers from A?
What happens to D?
C can also utilize driver from
But
A.
it doesn't matter. Even if that doesn't work, I'm extending A from D. So that's like that's where I get confused. If it's extending the driver in D, it's using the driver fine in D, but it's not using the driver in C. Is it the object that's creating the issue here, or is it something else?
I think that way we're trying to inherit. Java doesn't allow multiple inheritance. We're not doing that actually here.
Yeah, but it's sort of like doing it indirectly.
Yeah, if it does indirectly, then it's a problem. So.
Sorry.
So my guess is this could be, since D is extending A, right? So getting one driver, and then C is using A, but she was not initialized. So the driver you are using, the process you are using the thread you are using on D, which extends from A, is not the same thread as C is using from A. So there is possibility to give you that D is not initialized yet. But this is the initialized. So you're extending D from A. We are saying by right-clicking on the test annotation, hey, run this test, and that once you run this test, A driver get initialized, and this is how you can see the driver launch the browser and start seeing the test methods. But if when you go back to C, then start the problem. Now let's take a look on your code again. Let's reproduce how you throwing null pointers.
So
No, once, yeah, you're extending should common method, right? And let's create an instance, yes. All right, before you create an instance now, right? Before line 23, do some steps.
I'm just using these four methods. Okay. So before line 23, you said?
On test class.
The test class. Before line 20, what do you want me to do?
Right here? The test driver.
Oh.
Just print the driver here. No, not this driver. Yes, okay, that's fine. All right, that's driver, right? Let's put the breakpoint on 23.
And now this is extending common method. So do you want me to just extend class A on this? There you go.
Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so the driver here is fine.
Okay, can you step over? So you get the driver, right? No, now.
No, no.
Yes, it shouldn't be. Now, did you hit the point already?
No, yeah, it already covered the point. Okay, let me do it again.
No, but you're not going to throw null pointer exception unless you have that line. Go back to the code. This line 26, this is the one you're going to give you error, right?
Oh no, it's going to be, it's going to be here. That's going to be here.
No, line 26 should give you error.
Line 26?
I mean 25th. 25th, right?
20. You mean on the test? You mean
Yeah. If you don't call this, it's not going to execute, right?
Here. So you're saying this right here?
Yeah, if you want to throw the error,
Oh, wait.
Other-
I put it on the wrong line.
no, that's fine. I'm saying line 25th.
I'm not even calling it the test. That's the problem. There you go.
Yes, there you
Here,
go.
this is where it should be. Right?
This is what you need, yeah.
So driver is fine, at least in the test class.
Mm-hmm.
And driver is null in the eBay homepage elements.
Yes. Okay, continue.
Okay, so you want me to step over?
It's already no, it's error, right?
Well, it's already alright.
Okay, so stop it. Stop it now. Go back to print all homepage elements.
Okay, let's go there. Let's here.
Control B will give you, option to go.
Oh, yeah.
Is this the one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, fine. Can you open parameters on line 26? Say WebDriver.
Here.
On line 26, open the parameters, right? With the method parameters. And declare
Oh, okay, here.
declare a WebDriver. And say driver. Okay. And now it should have, okay, you can say driver, but look, you just simply say local driver.
Yeah, this is the local driver, so.
Call local driver. Instead of driver, call local.
Local driver?
Yeah, call local driver.
What does that mean?
Local driver, one word, D is capital.
Okay.
It's a variable to just distinguish from the base driver to this driver.
This driver?
Okay. All right. So now say local driver dot find elements
Local driver dot find out.
instead of driver. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Now go back to your test class. Now pass the driver here. Now run it.
Just run or reload?
No, just run it. It should run.
Okay.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's going to pass the driver from the superclass into the local, into that class. So yeah, there it works.
It works?
It works.
So why it works? Tell me.
Well, it's grabbing the driver from the superclass, right? And it's
It
passing
should.
inside of the.
You should. You know why? Now, what you've been saying or been doing before is,
Passing in nothing actually.
so go back to your, right here, right? The eBay homepage. Okay. This class extending the driver,
But it's not doing it.
but the driver was not initialized.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. So the thing is that I'm just extending it. I'm not really doing anything with the driver, right? So,
If you extend it, you must initialize that, right?
right. Oh my god.
So, guys, null pointer you're going to see very often. So if you try to use a resource, it's never initialized. It's going to give a null pointer exception, right? All right. So in terms of Bilal case yesterday, I'm guessing it could have similar.
It was the same thing.
It's a similar issue. You can solve it by passing it. Yeah.
Wow, that was great. Thankfully,
Everyone got it?
Because we don't have it just right here, but
so yeah. So,
Guys, over here, one thing. Let's go. Can you see my screen? Okay. So A is the common method, right? This is how initialize happen for the driver. And even though you extend or whatever you happen, extend multiple times, doesn't matter unless this driver go all the way through, or because this test class is this test class is actually initiate the process of creating an instance of driver, and you have to do it properly. Now, if you don't do it, right? So let's say you are using some of the resources here, but you're not extending all the way through, but you're calling the C. So you create an instance of C, but C have access to driver, but this is not the driver, same driver as we are initializing it. So what you can do, you can pass the initialized driver. So the way we're doing it now, just pass the driver into that.
From the test lab.
So from the test driver, pass to that one of the
To make a local graph.
resources in some other classes. You can pass that, then you can get initialized, right? This is how the setup is we have. So driver is null. So you're going to have a null all the time, unless we hit this point, right? Up to this point, right? Or this point. If you don't have this initialized, we're going to have null pointer exception all the time. So if you want to make complex, it's fine as long as you know that the process is, it's fine.
I don't know why I'm thinking it was just inherited.
Okay. Now it's good to know that once the framework gets bigger and bigger, you're going to end up this kind of scenario. All right. Any other questions you have? Anyone? Okay, the profile used in root form XML to call by profile ID to run on Jenkins. So if you want to run a specific module in Jenkins at a specific task, we can call this by profile ID. That's the purpose of having profile ID. So right now you're running in Jenkins all the modules, but if you want to just run a specific module, you can try using profile ID. So if you're going to add more modules, the profile ID should be added here.
So I need to add manually or is it going to add by hand?
No, there is no automatic add. You have to add.
what about the student XML file?
Hmm?
Student XML file?
XML5.
The student XML file?
Where? Which reference?
This one, he did for example.
Resources?
This is a comic about
So if you have two students, that's at the same time.
Where you said the perimeter?
This might use two.
Where?
Where you said the perimeter?
Yeah,
Which? Give me line
is
number.
that parallel to this? Right?
Something else?
go to Amazon. That's where I think it is.
Amazon? Okay.
I mean, I know you discussed that.
Where? In the Amazon?
Comics.
Then?
Go down. Yeah,
This? Suite XML. To run the suite. Right? So this is a suite actually.
This is not for offline training, right? It's not for offline training.
No, no. The suite is when you have group test, right? Running multiple classes under one suite. And then that suite XML, so we declare a variable, Amazon App Runner. So under this variable, we can call the suite runner, XML runner class. So you can call multiple of them. So they use the tag called suite XML file. So you can declare a variable here, or you can just simply use this, right, to call the runner, right? So you're calling the runner. Where? Runner is here. Amazon App Test Runner. To call this runner, and it's go to target test classes. So you have to use that a tag, right? This is the tag we declare suite XML file, and this tag will pick up this runner, which is XML file. And this is a test suite, right? Suite name is Amazon e-commerce, and this suite will be picked up by this root pump. So when you're going to run under Maven, when you try to run with the Maven, it's going to pick up this suite XML file. It's going to look for that tag, and then it finds this runner through the Maven. If you don't run it through the Maven, you don't need this. You can simply run it from here.
But I was able to run it without that.
You can run without this, but if you don't want to run with the Maven, you have to have this.
What do you mean, man? You run with it?
You don't know what's running with Maven?
I know I did that without it.
How do you run without it? You don't know how to run without it. Hey, can you run without this XML file with Maven? Show me that. If you can run it, awesome. We don't have to run the extra line.
I thought I was able to.
You thought you were able to. You need the XML suite to call this runner. All right, any other questions anyone have? Yes? No? All right, so let's go over teamwork. All right? All right, guys, get ready. So we start with team one, but before we start, I'll take just 2 minutes to give you time to prepare. Sachin, you're team one, right? Okay, prepare your demo so you can take a look. Give it 2 minutes. Prepare it.
Amazon kind of working.
Shoes, no, I don't know, I was pushing stuff, I hope it didn't mess up my code. Oh, he wants us to do it every No, from your computers. From your computers. I'm running on all this.
I just show my
You will look at your freaking thing, you'll say, what the hell did you do? Nothing.
Hold on. I didn't have that in the SFI, and then I did. And my boss was excluded because the gift cannot be read.
Other than that, not for you. What the hell? Why am I getting not for you?
I shouldn't use the Excel. Just put another.
Oh.
It is, I don't need.
You don't need to send it to Gopal. You can check that.
No, I'm doing it now. What do you want? He's gonna go manually?
Yeah, he's gonna, so he said prepare your computer, so he's gonna check manually for each and every one of you.
You show your screen.
So you'll show your screen and you're gonna run your tests. So he's not just gonna take a look at your code. He wants to check
So, everything has to be working. Which is not.
Nothing works.
Oh, Lord.
We're too deaf, but we're down there. We get humiliated at the end.
Which is fine.
I'm just going to leave my seat.
We'll live like a big break. Somebody stop by for a break. Please.
But you can still, one of this is headset.
Say, break.
Oh, he's gonna. Hey, I got one for destroying it.
No, it's not. It's just you. Don't worry about it. You're gonna take it for the team.
No, you're not the only one.
You're
We are on this together.
I'm not going first. You guys go first. I'm not going to go first.
I will
I need
go
to
first
take
and
my
I
phone.
can do it.
I need them to take
No,
it.
no,
First. So that it's
I don't care.
No, the actual thing is my app with a bunch of sleeps because for some reason if you don't sleep by some point we have to
Yeah,
get an error. So I sometimes it randomly gives me an error because it's not sleeping enough. Yeah, I had 2 tests working. Yes, I got my pick the first one. Because no, it was I had to create a page factory.
I did through the whole thing. I would put out the
Well, but he's being the computer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
You're walking up there.
By the time our time will be break time.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think I want to show after break. I mean, you exactly smart. No.
I'm gonna run my tests individually, not all together. Because when I run it all together, my website messes up.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Right? That happens to you guys too? Okay, so my first one is fine. Now let's go to the UI testing for payments. Good for you, Starbuck. How many test cases do you have?
I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He said about 100, by the way.
What's that? What are you
What?
I'm doing it.
See, that's why it adds random stuff to my code.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And Ash and Huh?
I think
Yeah, if you go to master, my project is there, but you guys can do what you were doing.
I think
I got 12 now.
You master.
I hope you just looked at
I think
it.
my friends, then I
It doesn't matter.
I have
When you're a branch, it's like you know what project.
I know, so
It's not your one project. I don't see your project.
I don't know what.
I push it, my friends.
No, yours is something else. I don't know what you guys are pushing, but I don't know.
I know.
I mean, he pushed it fine. He pushed it to master, so
Why
he said,
not?
I have a scope.
Mine.
That's fine. But you have yours, right? You pushed it 8 days ago. That's
Oh,
what I
I
said.
did it yesterday. Yeah,
You
this
see?
is mine. What I pushed.
You see, this is yours. It says 8 days ago. Yeah, you pushed it like 2, 3 days ago. Where? You see, that's the funny thing. It says a day ago and it's pushed by. No, it's pushed by instructor, not by.
It's crazy. First it was me.
And Sama, okay, there you go. Sama, Expedia. Nice fancy yours. And storage. Name. He's right. Yeah, you
You know what's funny thing? I went to this phone
No,
yesterday.
mine is not.
This one.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I just
See,
tried
see,
to then I did yesterday.
I don't know how you pushed it. I have a feeling she logged into Coffee Crazy.
It's my, no, I think you ran.
Oh, so but you only touched your phone then.
Then because he's for.
No. Your name only appears there when you actually commit something. If you download it, how can you commit to our friend?
I don't know, he ran.
He's not a collaborator. He can't. He's not a collaborator.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. You did.
I don't know how. Well, you made mine.
Yeah. First, you know what's the funny thing? No. You know what the funny thing is? When you first push, it says short German's there, and then you push the name, so not the so you just need. Like, why are you creating someone's French?
I'm very good at writing.
What are you responsibility? Because I'm for one year, sir.
That's it, he's acting.
I mean,
Well, if it lets you do that, right, then you can just waste other people's like code.
No. Whenever I feel new,
get your more out.
And you need to update your phone then.
yeah, why
Like firmware, please. Update your like software.
First, I can fix it.
I didn't know why you said that.
It's nice.
My message is no more. Oh, right. That's what she was saying for me too. I was like, what is she going on? I also feel this. Yeah. So add credit card and it's yes.
I got 2 working.
Me too.
I got 2. I got 2. Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Silent Night yesterday, last night?
Look for it. Let's try.
Silent Night? But we didn't answer it. I don't know. Did you watch?
What?
I mean,
I did pull it.
Wait, are you pushing the
I
master?
mean,
I'm pushing the
you
master.
should watch it.
I was trying to push my I did not pull it. I did a whole new one.
What happened? Because otherwise you have to change it. knows so much shit about Trump. Yeah, they don't understand reason. Because of journalists, it's because of people believe that they can go on the street and they keep saying shit. Media is like pure
You can get on it.
I think media turned even into black news. You know? I'm not saying there's no issues going on this year.
You don't have to do that because it's actually. Oh yeah, there you go.
So the whole media was behind Hillary so that she wins. But it turns out that people are not listening to the media so much, and the internet, they're going yeah. So they're losing their power. So they're being like they're attacking, like showing that they still have the power.
Yeah,